we have got to work on this monologue. She saw, because when we did the table read, and it went on page after page after page.
And it's emotional.
Oh, it was just, it was so scary. Do you know she knocked that scene out in, I think, 2 takes?
Wow.
I said, now, by the way, I just want you to know a little inside thing. Some of you might know this, but you know there are a lot of phone calls on the show. A lot of talking. Well, usually the actor that they're talking to on the phone is me. I'm the person so I'm reading all the parts. So that long monologue that Lauren had to do, when you see Emily in bed listening, she's listening to me. I'm sitting there reading the whole monologue. And I gave pathos. I was Laura. I became Laura.
What was that like? What was it like?
But do you have to do that? Because obviously that happens all the time, is that, you know, you have the one characters in another town or whatever, so you don't film them together unless you have, you know, really other actor that is, you know, like in a film, they'll be there for the person. It's like, oh, I want to be there for the other side, but otherwise I'll read them or whatever. So it is difficult, unless you have a good actor doing it. If you have a stand-in or something, it's difficult if someone goes, yep, it's me, you know.
Yeah, it's hard for the other. So I was snotty nose and everything. I was
gonna say, what was that? I mean, to deliver that emotion-packed monologue, and you know, I think for a lot of people the emotions were paralleled because, you know, they were sad about Richard, they were sad about Edward, you know. So that's great that you were the one delivering it. And what about who's on the receiving end of Lauren Graham's phone call? No one? She's just talking on her phone?
No, it's me.
So you're listening to her.
If someone is talking back to her and she's responding, then it's me. It's my voice. They would have me either at a certain place and I'm saying the lines so the actor can react and then have the timing. So 99%. I think the only time I didn't say anything was the one time when I think Lauren says, I love you to her mom, and the mom says, I love you back or something. She didn't need me that. It was just, although I would have been there for her.
Sounds like it. So we joked about this a little earlier, but I'm kind of obligated to ask in a room full of Gilmore Girls fans, are you team Dean, Jess, Logan, Rory, Paris? I don't know. Is there a particular, people joke about Paris, but is there a particular boyfriend or relationship Rory had that you preferred?
I can say this. I remember when Milo and Alexis first started dating, and I saw them on the set and holding hands, and then kind of, you know, as they came closer to the set, and it was really sweet to see when they first started dating in real life. You know what? All 3 guys, I am so proud and happy for their careers. They're all lovely, lovely guys. I'm not just saying that. Matt, Jared, and Milo. In fact, Milo, now that's a favorite story I have of Milo.
Let's do it.
When we came back for the revival, usually what happens is you have a table read. So all the actors that are going to be in that particular script, you come in and you sit around a big table and you read the script. So this was the first day back from Milo. And so we had been shooting earlier that day and we were on lunch break. And so on our lunch break is when we do the table read. So I literally had to come from the set and then go to where we were going to do the table read, but I had to go to the bathroom. And so I'm rushing, so I rushed to go to the bathroom before we had to do the table read. Milo was so excited to see me, he followed me into the bathroom. And then he said, and he walked in and said, I'm so sorry, George, you know, I know, don't think me weird, but I'm just so excited to see you, I have to come and give you a big hug, you know. So we're hugging, before I had to do anything. But that's how Milo was, and Jared, he flew in on his jet. for one day to come and shoot his episode, right? Because he and the co-star in his show Supernatural, they're best friends. Their wives are best friends. They live in Austin and they fly. They've filmed somewhere in Vancouver, so they have their own little jet. But Jared is just as sweet. Matt, his first day on the set, he was sick with a cold. It was an all-nighter, and I guess they got a big bag of Kiehl products, and he gave me all of his Kiehl products. Just sweet guys. I mean, I love them all. I could not pick.
In real life, I'm sure they're all great. Fictionally, you didn't have a preference. No one here will be offended by anything you say.
Well, Jared, Dean, no, because Dean's married, so that wouldn't be right. So, and Logan's now engaged.
But what if he's the father?
And has Jess seen anybody? He's free.
I see.
It was the hug in the bathroom.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just thinking
We
aloud.
have an unconfirmed Team Jess from George. Carla, I hate to ask, but I have to add, do you have a preference for Rory's boyfriends?
Gee, I so like them all. I mean, just starting out with Jared when he was, both he and Alexis really didn't have that much experience.
Babies.
Alexis had been a model, and I can remember when I think she gets kissed by Chad, is that right? Or something. I mean, that was a real tough thing for her to do. I mean, it was Tristan, yeah. And, so a lot of these things were, pros are no problem here. It was really just sort of walking her through everything. But, so to see those two together, they were just so adorable. And then Jess was wonderful. Milo, we all love. And actually, he was going to have his old spin-off, which I worked on. I don't know if they ever showed that.
No, I don't think the pilot
did a
aired.
speech, I remember. Because he had asked me, he said, can we get you to come read Dialogue Coach on our show? I said, gotta talk to Amy.
What was your role in the possible spin-off?
Yeah.
You were just
I was 18.
Oh, great.
And so a lot of skateboarding, but I had done lots of skateboarding in Hook, so I knew that one.
It took place in Venice. Is that why there was so much skateboarding? Or
Yeah, well, it took place in Venice. There's a lot of skateboarding there. It's all over. But
That's why we got skateboards that year for Christmas presents. I was trying to figure out, we got skateboards one year for Christmas presents. I said, yeah, I like to see myself on a skateboard, okay? I actually, by the way, just so you know, I got everyone in the cast to sign the skateboard, and I gave it to Ginny, so it's going to be raffled off, but it has all of the cast members. I'm sorry you don't have my name and people writing personal things to me, but I never got on the skateboard, okay?
that exact skateboard you're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
great. Full circle.
It says Gilmore Girls on it, and
just as
stars
far as
on it.
Matt is concerned, that's when George was taking off, and my daughter would come in and work, and she did a lot of work with Matt. That was her favorite. She's like, oh, Matt. So I have to go with the love 'em all. Sorry.
Yeah, sure, guys, sure. But I guess to wrap up, you're so great to talk to, but I won't keep you on much longer. Why do you think the show has had such a lasting impact and influence all these years? I mean, look at where we are. What do you think was so special about Gilmore Girls?
I think it's about relationships within family, especially mother-daughter, but it could be maybe father-son. I mean, it's just a relationship of friendship. I think we all would like to grow up in a place like Stars Hollow, to have that feeling of community and togetherness and kindness, which we need a little more of. And so I think it speaks to all of us as just humans.
Also now I have kind of this amazing thing that I've started in our home actually, where I have many events, like for a week even, and there's screenings with directors and musical groups and all sorts of things that people come, and my husband's an amazing artist too, and so he shows this wonderful room that he's created. But anyway, many women come and when they find out that I've done the Gilmores in my book or somewhere, by the way, don't forget tomorrow, 1 to 3. It's a great book. Grandma told me so.
Carla, do you want to talk about your book a little?
I'll just tell this question first. But, and they tell me that, you know, this show saved the relationship with my daughter. We so enjoyed it. It really was a bonding experience that we watched together all the time. And that so touched me. So I have 2 daughters as well. And that relationship, and you guys all know, I won't tell you about it if you heard, but I didn't know about it until I heard This American Life, about the men that were stationed in Fallujah. Do you all know that one? Anyway, these Marines or whatever, big tough soldiers in Fallujah on active duty, were in love with the Gilmore Girls. And they watched it all the time. Apparently one member of their group, his sister had introduced it to him when he was back home on leave, and he brought it back to the guys. And they just loved it, and the CO, commanding officer, was like, hey, what are you watching a girly show for? And they said, this is an amazing show. It's really well written, and it's so well acted, it's really, really good. And I could see that, because if you're far away from home, and the United States, and how that, you know, you yearn for this, and you see this, and I grew up in a literal Stars Hollow. I mean, the characters were crazy in this little town. And I know that I once said, why was I born there when my life is so different where I live in California. And I heard literally, when you are born in a place where you can establish strong roots, you can be replanted anywhere and you will survive well. And I think that's what does it to us, our communities, our relationships, our families, our small towns, our big towns. I mean, it's home, you know, wherever it may be. I'm gonna get all teary-eyed here.
Very sweet. That's very sweet. Thank you both so much. And do you want to talk about your book, Carla?
Yeah, once again, I had been working on a lot of big movies and doing all these things, and I knew those were all very important.